G'day and welcome to Stitch Up and a brand new series of Planet Coaster and the Studios pack. So we've seen some exciting builds in the Studios pack at the moment. I see Rudy Renkemel's doing a Ripper series that's just kind of kicking off with lots of fountains and water features and an amazing entrance building. John T at Geekism's doing a really cool one, and I love the idea that he's going to have different parts or different rides are going to be different games like Subnautica and Surviving Mars and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, this is all really cool. I've actually decided to just kick off a brand new park, and this park is basically going to be, well, a couple of things set in the desert. The park's going to be called, at the moment I'm thinking Sunset Park, and the idea is going to be that the park's always best viewed at sunset. So you come at midday, you spend the afternoon, but you really get to see the park and the lights come on around sunset, and that's the best time to see it. It's always a lovely sunset out here in the desert. So I've tried to get the orientation of this main building just sort of so it will help show that off, the sunsetness. Anyway, so basically, if we just have a look here, the only thing I've started is this main building. This main building obviously is just got a dual purpose. It's going to be triple entrance just there, a few plants, and I'm trying to make it a little bit of a classical building, a little bit deco with some concrete pillars, but a little bit also like a big sort of photographic spot where you take photos out the front, something quite memorable for this park. Hence the blue and everything. I've tried to, I might do a little bit of gold leaf there as well, because I think the blue and gold will go nice together. A little bit Louis the 14th, but we're not going to go full Versailles on this one, obviously. You know, stucco windows and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, this building is going to take me absolutely ages to build, so I reckon I'll be doing this in between episodes. But if we have a look, the other main purpose of this is going to be is that it will be a hotel. So I will kick it off as a fairly small hotel inside with the rooms, but basically you'll enter from the front. That's the entrance to the park. There'll be walls around the entire park as well. There'll be water, there'll be lakes, there'll be fountains. So this will all be filled in. And unlike, actually just before we get to that, this building's also going to be a hotel. So I want the people to enter the hotel from inside the park. So the front of it serves the purpose of being the park entrance, but the back of it serves the purpose of being a hotel. So people will be able to maybe walk up a staircase here, and I'll be making the path sort of come up, and maybe on one side they'll enter the hotel. There's a possibility that maybe on the other side they'll enter a monorail station that'll come out of this hotel. It's a theme park, so we can mix, monorails and hotels and put them all together. And then again, it's Planet Coaster, so we can do whatever we want as well. So yeah, this is probably the biggest building I've ever built. I'm not sure how it's coming along at the moment, but I'm playing around with some more classical sized doors, and I'm going to be covering up. I like the idea of the blue and the concrete. I'm trying to keep it fairly minimal inside so I can stack the hotel rooms in and just use that facility, because I like the idea that people will be coming and going from the hotel, also coming and going from the park. I will also be putting in a parking lot down the front here. So very basic at the start. There'll be a bit of planting, but there'll be some sort of parking lot just opposite the hotel. And I want to make roads inside the park a real feature. So I want the roads to be, all around. The main thing, this is going to be a backlot studios park, and I want the backlot ride to be or the bus tour to be the main feature. So there will be roller coasters, but I want it a bit like Universal Studios. You go for the roller coasters, you go for Jurassic Park, but really you go to do the backlot ride. I also like the idea of having lots of little golf buggies that the directors would use. I want this to possibly be a a real working studio out in the desert, and maybe it is still used to film a few movies. And I like the idea that reality mixes in with theme park as well. So yeah, these are all the things that I want to try. Things that I want to do differently to my previous adventure series and the Stitch Up Adventure Park. That was a very sparse park, and I used a transport ride for people to get around and to different parts of the park. In this one, I want everything to be nice and connected. So if we're going to have another section of the park, it's going to be right next to where we've currently built. So the studio tour is actually just going to be, I've got a bit of an idea that, there'll be an open plaza here. And in fact, let's start building that now. Let's just start, actually, I might just make this sort of a nice big square open plaza. And what I might do is I might actually have the studio backlot tour intersect this plaza, because I like the idea that the buses intersect where the guests are basically going, and I think it's a really cool idea that the buses interact. But so I'm thinking maybe some narrow sort of footpaths, guest footpaths, right next to ornamental roads. But the ornamental roads are where the buses go. So we'll obviously have to be careful with clipping of guests and running over of guests and stuff like that. But I think if we can mix in the backlot tour with where people are walking, I think that will be really exciting. So bearing in mind that we've come in here on the left. Or we've angled up to the right there at 45. This is all going to be front of house and car park. But if you come in here, and this will be basically the park, I want the studio tour to kick off in this direction. So I think what we'll do is we'll definitely put the studio tour roughly around here. So it'll probably be about here, and we'll put lots and lots of queue. So there's a bit of planning of where that's going to be. Now, there's some ideas of what scenes I want the studio bus tour to do, but I had an idea that I want to build an old western town, and I think that'll fit in with this sort of canyon kind of outback sort of theme. So I'm going to have an old western town with lots of cactuses, and I think what will happen is when the buses go through there'll be a fire that rips through it. I think I like the idea that there's some shooting and maybe some burning and fires and stuff. I also wanted to do maybe a bit of a New York cityscape and lots of tall buildings, and I wanted to have, again, a fire in that one, but I wanted to have a couple of fire trucks, and they're fighting a bit of a ripper fire up maybe a 10 or 15 story building, and I think that could be kind of cool to go ahead and do. And I think that'll be a little bit of a weenie that people would see it throughout the park as they come through. They'll go, oh yeah, there's the Manhattan on Fire kind of part of the studios tour. There's two other parts that or two other scenes, so there'll be two of them. Two other scenes that I wanted the studio backlot tour to see would be a space center. So this one here, I'm having a bit of an obsession at the moment with the space shuttles and the decommissioned space shuttle program, and so I was thinking about recreating a space shuttle, and as it's going to be, the backlot tour is always going to be taken at say 5 p.m. So if I just switch it over to about 5 now, let's have a look. I think 5 is about good. 5. Oh, so yeah, let's just say 5 p.m. Yeah, and so you've got that sort of half day, half night. It's getting kind of dark, and so I think if we had the roaring engines of the shuttles starting up and a bit of a launch sequence, and I wanted to do maybe a Saturn V rocket and some smaller rockets, a little bit of a nod to Kerbal Space Program, but not in the same way that Jonty's doing. I don't want to recreate other games. I'm not going to do a Surviving Mars part of the park or anything like that. It was more that I'm having a bit of an obsession with spacecraft at the moment, so I thought maybe it would be good to incorporate that, and I thought that could be good for the backlot ride. The other thing I wanted to do was maybe do a huge dock area with maybe a big ship, a bit like the Madagascar ship at Singapore Universal Studios, and have that maybe over this side of the park, but basically just have it so that people would there'll be lots of container ships, shipping containers, and that people would get on the tour and be taken through a bit of a scene in that. And I had an idea of a car chase going around the containers. I had a bit of a test on that one with another park that I was playing with last week, and just that seemed to come up pretty good. So yeah, I'm happy with all that. Let me just set this to a permanent. So I think I'm going to build at maybe 11 a.m. I think that's going to be my build time, just so I can sort of see what's going on. Yeah, 11 a.m. we get to see the colours and everything. This building's orientated in this direction so that the sun comes up on, I believe the sun comes up here and then sets over here. But I like that the front of the building is never in full sun. So, you know, the side of the building will be in the morning, and this will be in the afternoon, and certainly the back of the building will be in full sun and people can get lots of photos. But I do like the idea that at the front here, there's always going to be nice shadow here, and I can choose to maybe have some of those really cool studio lights shining on the front of the building. I think it's a studio park, and I'm not trying to recreate an old town or an old hotel even. It's a studio park, so I think we need to keep that little fun element to it. So yeah, there's a lot to be done in this. I'm going to just do a little bit more building in this episode, and then I'm probably going to do a fair bit of the building in the next episode, in between this and the next episode, just so we can get a few things kind of coming along, and then we can start to spend an episode backfilling little bits of areas and filling out detail. So I do want to start off a nice little street where the tram car would go down, and I think what I'll do with that one is, let me see here. If I put that there. So if I put maybe some shops coming off here, because this is still within the entrance to the parks. If I put maybe some shops or stuff coming out, then behind those I could make a building around those shops. But behind them I could then start off maybe the old Manhattan part of the park. So that's what I might do. I might actually, let's see here. If we go to shops and facilities, I might actually grab that. And let's see. So if we're going to do this, we could probably do... let me do a couple of food shops. Yeah, I think I will. All right. So let me do a little triple of food shops up the back here. And this way, I think we can then get the connecting worlds of, the backlot tour behind it. That's not going to work. So if I turn snap on, I'm down to 15. If I go like this, will there be a flat that would make me? Yeah, look at that. I think that is bang on. Yep. Okay, cool. So I've managed to, I don't know how, but I've managed to keep 45-degree angles pretty good. So if I do this as, say, that one, that was a energy drink. So we need something food. Chief beef, milkshakes. Should we go food? What do we got there? Pizza pen. Yeah, that could be good. And I think we'll keep these separate from each other. And I think if we could get a coffee shop going, drinks. Street Vox Coffee. That even sounds a bit sort of movie theme park. All right, cool. So if I got those guys, and now I can basically start to map out where this building's going to be. So if I go building, and I want walls, and I want modern brick, I think. Do I want modern brick? Some sort of brick. Building material. Yeah, I think I want modern brick. Now, can you change the modern brick for me to walls? Can we change the... Yeah, we can, actually. How are we looking there? They're kind of good, though. I don't know if I want to change it. The red is interesting, though, because the red really does, rub against the canyon-y look. So, let me see. I'm just worried about changing everything to grey. I don't want to grey eyes make my whole bloody park so grey that it's... what do we got there? Let's have a look here. Again, we're looking at it from the front of the park with that sort of, yeah, I think that's good. Okay, let's go. But we don't need that menu to be so big. Okay, so if I go shop front, modern brick wall shop fronts, yeah, and we just put those in. And we're going to go nice and far back. That's kind of cool. All right, and then if we can just start to do some basic shapes here. I think I wanted to see if I could just keep this like this. Oh yeah, we're going to tuck them in. What's happened here? We're going to tuck them in, so I think I've missed my opportunity to tuck it in there. Yep. All right, let's, if I go, ooh, yeah, that's better. Yep. So I'm working on the theory that if I tuck those in, you know, then I'll be able to put more decorations on the outside. That's my little theory there. That was unnecessary, that one at the back. But let's map out the basic block of this building. So if I could just do this, and so I will definitely be doing time lapses in this series. I've set myself a deadline that I must work out the time lapse technology. I just I struggle with you know, learning these things, and I've noticed that the tutorials for time lapses are not for YouTube gamers, and especially not for Planet Coaster. If there was someone who came out and just said, this is how you do a time lapse video, this is the software you use, you know, but I can't seem to get a hold of it at the moment. I can't get a grip on time lapses, so there's a lot of building I'm doing that I reckon it would be great in time lapse. This is one of them, and well, maybe not this one, because this building won't be so big, but I think we could probably do it a little bit better with the time lapse though. And yeah, it's a chapter that I am going to get to, so we'll just watch this space. I'll definitely be doing that. Now if I put this up here and move it forward, right, and we obviously don't want that, or that, or that, or that, or that, or that. And I don't know if this is going to be an interesting shape or not. I think it might be. I might do some fire escapes down there. Okay, so this building here, if I want to put maybe a roof on, let's have a look. Should we go for some pitched roofs? Yeah, we'll go for some roofs. We obviously want to change that. And what do we got there? Pitched roofs. Yeah, I've got to think about what roof I want on this now. This is going to be decision time. This is all a bit weird. Why are they all... They're all very themed. Corrugated iron roof. I can't see that being applicable. Do we want to try and get a horror? Oh, these are really big, aren't they? Yeah, those are really big. I don't think it'd be appropriate. Square tile roof edge. That would work. Right, what's actually happening here? Let me try turning these. Right. Man, I can't even tell what's going on with any of that. I'm a little bit lost when it comes to building and roofing. And this, I imagine, is painful to watch. So I won't spend much time with this. Corrugated iron. That's just going to look too much sort of like a witch's kind of hat. If I go, let me just try something here. Corrugated iron's not going to work. What do you got there? Haunted house. What's this roof? 2 meter slope. So we definitely need a slope that's a bit. So 4 meter slope is going to be that. See, this just blends in too much, doesn't it? Yeah. What if we change the color? Okay, for now I'm just going to pop on this roof, which, you know, you couldn't get a more bog standard roof for Planet Coaster, but I'm just going to put that on, and I'm going to come back at some point and fix all that up. But we're basically just getting an outline of where this this building's going to be, and yep. And then for here, I think what I'll do, I'll try and do this and this. Ooh. And is that going to be, it's going to be what we want? Well, it is. They really tie in together, don't they? Okay. But then we'd have to take care of those edges that hang over and all the little bits and pieces. But at least then we've got a bit of a roof that fits now. So that's good. All right, what else? We'll do, yeah. So this was all, so we got shop canopies. Yeah, where's the shop canopies? Not there, not there. And if I go building, if I go canopy, do these canopies, shop canopies? Yeah, canvas awnings, top canopies. Wall-mounted cannon. Glass canopy. Would that work? I think we're getting a bit of a mix of all types here. But, you know, I think it works. Yeah. Might be that. Glass canopy. Now, is the glass canopy new in the game since we added glass? Can I change the colour of the glass? No. So I don't think the canopy is new. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. We'll just we'll keep that. This building is just going to be a bit of a mix match. It's basically defining an area. In fact, I'm not even going to finish it. I'm going to leave it like that for the moment because it's going to help me to define exactly what is here and then what is behind. So I can now start my Manhattan scene behind and then start to fill that in with the road area for the tram car. All right. It's going to need a little bit of fixing up, a little bit of attention. I'm not sure. I did want it to be double story, so I think that kind of works. But yeah, I'm going to need to come in and fix this. This is rubbish. Yeah. All right, so I think what we'll do now is we'll just, we've had a bit of an introduction to the series. I think we'll now leave it and we'll see everyone in the next episode. I plan to work on the hotel a bit more, maybe a bit more progress on the hotel, but that's going to be quite a work in progress. But you can see the mapping out of the size of it. And of course, we'll start to do some stairs up for the hotel entrance at the back. We've got a car park that will be taken care of, and of course we'll get some water features going in the central plazas, and we might get the tram car ride going so that I can start to see where the tram goes, and then just have it on a testing phase, and then we can start to map out a few studio buildings as well. So we'll have a couple of studio buildings in there. I think as well for building, I think everyone's going to be doing it, but I think I will put a Jaws ride in with some sharks, because I think that is a good one to put in, and I think it'd be good for people to go across bridges and see the Jaws ride. In fact, we might do that as a boat ride, but we'll see how we go. Yeah, okay, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a brand new series. It's a nice slow start, but it's going to be lots of building in this series, not so much popping up terrain and putting in plans. This one's going to be filled in with building, so it is going to be a little more tedious because I'm a slow builder. But I hope you enjoy the series. Please leave a comment, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.